Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to the pitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform. And now, here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, the two-time Grand Champion, SCA World Champion finalist, and barbecue specialist of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Lujan, and the 24-time Grand and Reserve Grand Champion, Reserve World Grand Champion, Windover High Roller Champion, and the founder of Pitmaster Barbecue Supply Company stores in Utah, the old man himself from Big Johnson's Barbecue, Jesse Johnson.
This is Greg Rempe from the Barbecue Central Show, and you are listening to the Pitmasters Podcast, and they are doing it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I just said that. They're going to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, live. They're going to do it live.
What up, Jesse? How's it going, man?
Hey, and we're going to do it live.
And we're doing it live on Tuesday night, like we always do.
Sir.
Yeah, man.
Made it down from the Elk Woods in time to do the podcast.
Heck yeah, man. Talking a little bit before the show, the elk are hard to find, huh?
Lots of, it seems like my normal elk hunting with my bow is just nice, long, hard hikes with my bow.
Yeah, it's fine. That's how it normally goes. And then when you're not expecting it, that's when they show.
And and dude, when I was doing my hiking or my stalking, my hunting, I just went really slow, and I was just praying for that one little opportunity. So something show up, they don't hear me coming, walking nice and slow, nice and quiet, stay quiet the whole time you're hiking, and nothing. Saw some moose, saw a bunch of deer, saw a beautiful deer that I wish I had a tag in that unit, but unfortunately I didn't. He was only I even ranged him. He was 46 yards away. He was just sitting there looking at me. He's like, "How you doing? What are you doing in here? I know you can't hunt me."
I'm going to tell you this, Jesse. I think walking and stalking quietly is a bad advice. I don't know where that came from. I had more opportunities hunting when I'm not really king. I'm crashing down the thing. They'll stand up because sometimes I think you're too quiet and they don't smell you. You're downwind from them. You're too quiet, and you walk right past them. I honestly feel that way, dude. I've shot more deer walking down the path, not really caring, just looking and keeping my eyes peeled, and they pop up and they stare at you, and then that's when you're like, okay, it's go time now. It's time to make my move on.
And all the hikes, I was just keeping the wind in my face or to the side of my head. In the mornings you can't walk down the bottoms because your scent's going straight downhill. So morning hikes were side hilling, going into area where I've seen elk. I know there's elk been there, and I see, sign. Unfortunately, it's not fresh sign. You see, the elk droppings, and you can tell the bull droppings from the cows. But it's just
next time go be loud. Be loud. Trust me. Be loud.
Okay. I was calling along the way too. Yeah, I would do some light cow calling. I never threw any bugles out. I don't think I was in any places where it would have been helpful. I just was kind of letting some light calls going out while I was coming down or going side hilling. But moose, grouse,
everything,
deer, everything except what I'm hunting.
Right, that's how it goes.
So.
Yeah, I cooked a steak this weekend too.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody's recipe's working, right?
Yeah, it's hitting, man.
What was the difference between first and second on points?
Give me 2 seconds here.
Because last time it was 3 points, if I remember correctly, because that's a ton in the SCA. Yeah,
let's see. So my score was 253.7. Second place was 253.4. So third place was 251.2. So
who was second place?
Nate Benson.
Yeah, he's a good cook.
Yeah. So
it's right there. But your flavor profiles work. You do the same thing as last time.
I do the same thing. I've been doing the same thing for the last 4 years.
Yeah, but you added a little something.
I added a little bit of extra something, and that seems to be helping. But yeah, it's the exact same recipe I've been running for 4 years.
I think that little help. I think that's like mama's little helper. It's a anytime cooking beef kind of helper.
Yeah, and also I think my doneness scores and my tenderness scores have jumped dramatically this year, and I think it has a lot to do with that RFX as well, because I'm not just putting one sensor in there; I'm putting 4 sensors on the cut line.
Right. So what? Do you mind sharing what you're taking your tip to before you pull it?
Yeah, I've been taking it to 136, 137 right there. So
yeah, that's what I started doing last time I was good, because I was doing 128, 132, 134, and then 136. It seems like my temp scores got perfect. So
yeah, using that
it's gonna carry over a little bit anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, 4 sensors versus 1 sensor. Why wouldn't I take advantage of that? So
yeah, that's cool.
Yep, and then it also kicked me up to the top of the Utah's points chase. So
I saw that too. That was very cool.
So now the pressure's really on. Now I got one more cook, and I got to see if I got to be consistent one more time to lock down in Utah. So
how was it's Warrior Risen or Rising?
Warrior Risen Ranch.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, because they do some side-by-side rides as well, I've seen. So
yeah. So yeah, it's a great ranch, and everybody should go at least check it out and donate a few bucks here and there. Help their cause for sure. But we have a sweet guest on tonight. We have Chris Marks of Three Little Pigs. There's another podcast, Under Seasoned, has released their top 50 most inspirational barbecue.
Yeah, but he's on
it. So
yeah. I was looking for your name. Your name wasn't there. Neither was mine.
I don't cause any inspiration. So, but all I do is stir the pot in the barbecue community and just ask questions that don't like to be asked. It's fine.
I didn't have time to dig through the list, but I think Christy out of Vegas was on it as well.
Yep, she was.
Was Hey Grill Hey on it?
Yeah, we probably had about I don't know 20 or 30 guests on that list on the show.
Very nice.
So yeah, it was really cool.
Well, let's bring Chris in. Let's get talking about it. But remember, we still do have the competition September 27th. Tri-tip and hot dogs, and Bingham's Meats out of Morgan is providing the hot dogs. So everybody's starting with an empty slate, and we had some good ideas on the last podcast. I think somebody should try 1 or 2 of those.
Yes, I definitely should recommend that.
All right, let's bring in Chris.
Let's go talk to him.
We call it Thermapen 1, the first true 1-second cooking thermometer. Its unprecedented speed means Thermapen 1's responsiveness approaches the speed of thought. Because when you're plating the perfect menu or smoking the perfect side of barbecue, you don't have time to think about how your instant read thermometer is accurate to 0.5 degrees in 1 second or less, or how rugged and waterproof it is, or how big, elegant and bright the backlit display is. You'll just know it works, because our perfection powers your perfection. Seek perfection with Thermapen 1.
Chris, welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
How you guys doing?
Not too bad, man. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
It's my honor.
Yeah, thank you. This is your second appearance, I do believe so. So yes, that's awesome. But before we get started, I have to ask one question. Like I said just a minute ago, I like to stir the pot and just ask questions and just wonder why. What happened to the pretzels?
The pretzels, I tell you what, they were damn good. Especially those touch of cherry pretzels. I got some right behind me, by the way.
Those sold so well in the stores, man.
Well, what happened was it was really the shelf stability.
Yeah.
They weren't really stable. We couldn't keep them. We just couldn't keep them fresh. They had about truthfully, sitting on the shelf, you had about a 30-day freshness.
Okay.
If they're sitting in the warehouse for 30 days, they're done.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Oh man.
And that was what it was all about, man. They did well.
Yeah, I never even looked at the dates on our packaging. So,
well, you can start to tell. You could tell the actual pretzel would get stale.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So there you go.
So how do they make the grocery store pretzels so shelf stable?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't add a bunch of toffee to it, and we actually baked them and baked that toffee on. And when we go to the baking, after it's been already cooked once, it had a tendency to make it unstable.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, got it. And then we can't vacuum seal them, right? Because then that makes everything stick together. Then you just have one gigantic.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'd rather. You know what? Screw it. Vacuum seal them, send them out, and we just break them off.
Yeah,
same way. Yes, the same way that they do the squeaky cheese. They pack it all together. It comes as one big ball, and we just work our way through it.
Yep.
We need to do that with the pretzels. Well, I think the next step is we probably just need to figure out how we can make them at home. If you're willing to let that go.
Well, they're pretty easy. We just we just mix a little touch of cherry in with a bunch of toffee, and then the toffee we sort of melt it across the and. Oh yeah, they were good. They were good.
Yeah, we've actually done that in the stores. Did some samples and kind of sampled it the way the products came from Old World, So
yeah.
Anyway,
well, man, you got listed today as
it was a good
150. Day. Yes,
that's a big list.
So being with that many people. Does that just bring you back to the whole reason why you did barbecue, or are you just glad that you just are part of this community? What kind of memories or what kind of things triggered today when you seen that today?
Well, first of all, I was very honored to be on it. And then on top of that, I was sort of right in the middle. I was like 87th, I think, which again is an honor in that crew. That was a pretty heavy crew. It shows you the hard work I've done for the last 25 years. Again, I've been out. I'm not that guy who's doing lots of videos and running around to contests, taking my pictures. I'm that guy who's in front of people. I like being in front of people, doing classes, doing events, talking to people. And I'm old school. Hell, Jesse, I'm a card carrier now for Medicare.
I'm not quite there, but I'm getting close.
Yeah. So it brought out a lot of great things. I love the business. I love the people. I love doing what I'm doing. I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do. I was a computer guy for almost 29 years and very stressful, very hard job. And then I rolled into barbecue. My mom said, "What the hell are you doing, dumbass?" Direct quote.
Wow.
She goes, "You could just retire out." I go, "No, I'd have a heart attack by the time I retired out," but I ended up having one anyway. So,
oh shoot,
yeah. So it all worked out. Everything worked out fine. But for about since about 2006, almost 20 years now, I've been doing straight barbecue. Whether it's working for a big distributor, Ace of Hearts, where I helped start the business, or going to the smoker company where I got to design and build smokers, and I got to get into back sort of my IT background. CAD CAM it all out. I did all the CAD CAM, did all the testing on the new Marshalls, all the Goodwin products and all that kind of stuff. And then going out on my own. COVID sort of helped that. So, when COVID tightened this down, old Landmark said, well, I think we're going to slow down on the smoker line and we're going to cut back staff. And again, at first I was a little upset, but after that, man, it's been a great job.
Been a blessing in disguise.
It's been a total blessing in disguise. I've been on my own for almost 5 years now. I go out and I do a lot of classes. I do a lot of private classes. I have people call me from all over the United States. Come up and do a private. Come up and do a private. I still work with lots of my dealers. I was just out in Utah this year.
Yep.
And met the new owners and the great people. Work really hard at it and have sort of a background in food. So they really get the business.
Because you've been doing classes for Barbecue Pit Stop for 7, 8, 9 years.
About 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I went to one of them in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they just sold the Layton location. I saw you had a class up there.
Yeah.
I'm glad it went really well. I hope these guys have great success with their store.
And so I've been doing classes now, Jesse, going on 25 years.
Wow.
And my wife actually sat down and figured out the classes, and we're right at about 570 classes that we've done.
Wow.
And next week, guess where I'm at? I'm in Indy doing classes. So I'm going to run it out till I can.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, as long as you're physically able to go continue to do it, then not. I mean, we had Johnny Trigg teach a couple classes at our Winterbork comp a couple of years in a row, and he felt like, okay, I can't do classes and compete in a competition at the same time. He just wears him out because he was getting up there a little bit in age too, but physically couldn't do it anymore. But wow, sharing the knowledge of barbecue, I tell you what, I think there's no greater gift. I don't think I've taught 500 classes, but I think I'm close to 100 now.
Yeah, and it's, what I like to do is I focus in on the class. The guys I work with, Jesse, are primarily backyard guys just wanting to do good.
Right.
And when I started into the business of classes, the first couple of years were comp classes. And then what I figured out is these guys will just want to learn how to cook. They don't care about competition. A lot of these guys don't even know how to start a fire.
Right.
Right.
They don't know any of the science behind what we do and why we do it. And now with the advent of YouTube and YouTube University, everybody knows everything. All I do is ask them.
Right. But holy cow, there's so much bad information out on YouTube, because I get customers in every day. I saw this on YouTube. I'm like, okay, tell you what, from a practical sense, the biggest thing I try to get people to get away from is time.
Oh, absolutely. How long?
Yeah, it's done when it's done. Because like in my classes, I used to teach people, it's all about the temperatures of the product. And by the end of the class, somebody will ask, well, how long will that take? And I said, class? And they said, till it's done. The whole class will say that.
I know.
If I can get that across to them, it helps so much.
Well, what I've done over the last really 25 years, and Jesse, is I've sort of built a following of loyal guys who are, everybody says you need influencers, you need to be out making videos. I go, look at this mug, man. I'm not going to make your videos. My mom said I had a face for radio. It took me a while to figure it out.
Me too.
I got it figured out. And, so what I like to do is I have people from all over the world that basically act as my sort of left hand and right hand men and help people out and use my products. I don't need to do those videos and every day a video of this and, going out and just copying what other people are doing. It's just, we got to be original. And I like to teach the original barbecue, how it was back in the 50s and 60s, smoke, fire, heat. What's it all about? Here's how you start it. And what I find out is when I teach that, the people have a tendency to really learn how to barbecue.
Yeah.
And then what we do is, as you do, is says, make it you. Make it yourself down. Now's the time to make it yourself. And it's just, that's sort of my attitude I've had for the last 20 years in teaching classes. And it's been very successful.
Right.
But you have an absolute cult following with your Touch of Cherry, though. Those guys that are coming in for that, it's just absolutely cultish. It's very awesome.
I know. The Touch of Cherry actually was created by my mom. And we made fun of it. Of course, my mom made it, and this is sort of a sissy rub, cherry and a lot of sugar, and of course I wouldn't want it. It should strike me down from up above if we told her that it wasn't the best.
Right.
But yeah, my mom and dad developed those back, Jesse, I want to say back in 93.
Wow.
Wow.
They've developed that one in the championship. And
which one? Because you've got 800 named Kansas City championship.
Well, I've got the championship rub, which is the blue one.
Yeah.
Then we just came out with the hot championship. And that was really driven by the competition guys wanting
a little bit more heat.
The championship rub, they want a little more heat at the finish.
Yeah.
And I was able to sell it and it's doing pretty well.
You got the championship suite, which is
that's
awesome as
Kansas City suite.
Yeah, Kansas City. You got 3 that are Kansas City, and I've had to work on myself, my knowledge of your rubs, to go tell the difference between the 3. So
think of shelf presence. Okay.
Yeah.
So I come from a marketing background. I worked for my IT. I did a lot of marketing. I did a lot of engineering and marketing, but it's always that face presence. What's that call out going to be? How can I get somebody to look over at mine versus looking over at somebody else?
Yeah, because there's 450 rubs on our shelves. What's going to make it stand out?
Absolutely. Yep. First of all, color's got to pop.
Yep.
Color's got to pop. And with that, you think of a championship, you think of blue. Okay. So the other thing is, when you think barbecue, it's been driven into our heads for the last 50, 75 years. Where the barbecue? Kansas City, Memphis, Texas, Carolina. That is a draw that is built in, that is built into people's heads.
Correct.
And all you have to do is look at Google search, what people search on, and you'll see that.
Right.
So again, you've got to be able to call that. You've got to be able to call it off the shelf. And a regionality works. So you got to be careful being too fancy with names and, too much stuff on the label. You confuse people.
Right. Chris, I want to kind of hit the rewind button here. We jumped right into your products, but I want to hit the restart button. When were you the student? Tell us how you got into barbecue and what actually got you rolling.
Well, I started into barbecuing. My parents were part of original KCBS. So my mom was on the board for like 8 years. I can't remember. My parents helped create contest organizers. My parents did that. They actually created the program. They helped with the judging program. So my parents were that part of KCBS. So my dad retired from Hallmark, and my mom said, we need to find him something to do. So we got him a big Oklahoma Joe smoker, and which I still have, by the way, which we rebuilt and we took to the Royal, and it looked gorgeous. And so we rebuilt that smoker. Well, the smoker for him. We got him the smoker, and it just sort of started from there. So my mom and dad were basically the team, and I was sort of the guy who would come in and help them because I had kids. I had kids in football. I had kids in volleyball, softball. I mean, I was 26 years old when we started doing this, and I just turned 65. So that's how long I've been doing this. But with them, what happened was as we migrated more into more contest, what we found out, my dad was really good at getting everything ready, getting it there. I was really good at cooking it. My mom was good at boxing. My mom was good at doing all the planning. But my dad did all the research. My dad did all the timing. And here's what I will need you to do. I'm taking a couple beers. I'll be back in about 8 hours. So make sure it's done. And I had no problem doing that. But again, I come from an IT background, very detailed. So that's where I got into it. So I started doing more of the cooking, and we did well. We did real well for quite a while. We did real well for about 12 years. And then my dad passed away in 97, right before we won the Invitational the first time. And then my mom passed away. Well, after my dad passed away, we sort of waned down and we really stopped competition about 2005. And I continued to do onesies and twosies, and I'd go down into Phoenix and areas and cook some of the ICBAs and things like that with people. But that's where I got started. I was basically sort of said, you're going to do it, in which I had no problem. And it was a love of a family. Our family, it's something, Jesse, where we sort of combined. Me and my mom and sisters were all athletes. My dad was not. And it was something to give us something to really meld together.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was. And then after my dad died, his brother stepped in, who looks just like him, stepped in and worked. But it wasn't like my dad being there. And it just we sort of lost the, it's not the same anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And we just sort of faded out, and I started doing classes, and
Here
just
you
sort
are.
of
Yeah.
morphed into what it was.
Yeah. I'm looking at your history. You had some good Grand Championship, Reserve Grand Championships. Your first big one, really big one, was the American Royal Invitational Reserve Grand Champion in '95.
Yeah,
And
my
then
dad was alive for that one. And he
then
about
you
had a
came-
heart attack going up.
Right. And then your big win was '97 is when you win the American Royal.
Yeah, and he had passed away 1 month before.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
too
But
bad.
you guys, I want to know what your guys' side dish was. You've got this side dish locked down at the American Royal all the
We
way through
did.
the cooking
We
career.
Being meat guys, that sort of sucked. My mom she had it nailed down. We on the side dish, we were known for our sweet potatoes. And the sweet potatoes were basically just mashed sweet potatoes. She put some alcohol, some kind of goofy bourbon alcohol into them, and she mixed some walnuts into it and some brown sugar, and aced first place like 2 or 3 years in a row.
Wow, that's awesome.
And listen to this on the vegetable category. It was even funnier because we didn't know what the hell to do for vegetables. Everybody, I'm going to do beans and all that. And so my dad goes, I'm just going to do carrots and onions. So the little pearl onions.
Yeah.
He got some pearl onions and some little carrots, and he blanched them, and he mixed some butter and honey and brown sugar with them, and took first place.
That
so,
basic.
So
That's
simple.
That was what he was all about, simplicity.
Man.
But simple a lot of times just wins head over heels over
Oh, I
very
know.
complex
I really
recipes.
do believe that.
And
Yeah.
just funny things like that. And we would change. The only thing we didn't change were the sweet potatoes, but we changed everything up over the last couple of years. But yeah, our first actual trophy at the American Royal was a side dish grand champion.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
though. Still,
A-
just to be
a
able
gr-
to
a-
have that, just an American Royal Championship, right, is crazy. And then you
Yeah,
got moved on.
A grand championship is a grand championship. I don't
It
care
is.
what product it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
And then you had some big wins all the way through, like you said, 2004. Looks like that's where you decided to make your transition.
We just sort of quit on top.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. We sort of quit on top. It's a very cyclic business. Everything sort of rides up and down, and we'd had a good ride, for almost 13, 14 years. And, let's go out on top. Like I said, we do the American Royal every year, but it's not serious. It's more of a party.
Right.
My buddies come in from all over the country, and they do all the cooking. So
Yeah.
I just sort of shake hands and kiss babies.
But that's not a short ride. That's a long ride, though.
That is,
that's some longevity in barbecue because, like you said, the flavor profiles are cyclical. They go in and they go out.
Absolutely.
And they go out, and it's pretty short period of time as things change.
Yeah.
And it is. It's about a 5-year cycle. And like you say, Anthony, you haven't changed anything.
No.
When we're looking at our straight competition, we weren't smart enough to change anything. We just kept it all the same. I was like, no, we're not going to change. That's too hard.
Well,
but if it works, it works.
If it works, it works. There's two things that I can really, focus on, especially when it comes to cooking to a steak. There's two things I can really work on: appearance and taste. Those are two things that I can kind of control mostly, with my rubs. If I over seasoning, that's my bad. If I under seasoning, that's my bad. But appearance is the number one thing that I can really control. And then after that, it's just kind of in the judge's hands.
Absolutely. And back, Jesse, when we started doing this, we didn't have trained judges.
No.
You never know what you were going to get. Never.
You never had 100% CBJs.
Never.
Right.
And my parents were part of helping design that program before they got out of it, the judging program, which my mom wasn't crazy about anyway, because she was afraid we'd make KCBS just a judging contest. Right. So somebody like we'd come in and cook, we wouldn't want to be original because we know what those judges are going to look for. So we've made it a judging contest instead of that true, you better cook something good because people are going to like it or not.
Yeah, you got to cook something special. In reality, you have to make the best doneness you possibly can of very average barbecue.
That is the perfect spot on analogy.
It really does. Tenderness. You got to hit that tenderness. If it's not tender, you're already out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And better be over than under.
Right.
Absolutely. Better be a little mushy.
Yep.
Yeah. But then flavor. Yeah, flavor is huge, right? Like
it's the heaviest weighted category.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, by far, you get a point and something half and all kinds of goofy things for, it's a weighted category.
Right.
Correct.
And so reason why I kind of segued into that is flavor. Let's talk about Three Little Pigs flavors.
Man, I like flavors.
Right. So when Jesse says, with his barbecue, you want it right in the middle type cooking, tenderness and everything like that. What are some of your products that hit that profile on the competition circuit?
On the competition circuit?
Yes.
I know they use the KC Sweet a lot, which is more of a savory sweet than a sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they'll do is they'll actually blend with the cherries, what they call the finish rub. They're using the cherry to finish. Okay. And I know for a fact, a lot of the guys in Texas use the cherry as a finish. And they'll grind it down, and then they'll basically put it on because they're looking for that really sweet and unique flavor on it.
Yes, adding a dust at the end.
The dust at the end, and that's what they're using that cherry for. But as far as the layering and the bases, they're mixing the sweet. And then also what they're doing, especially on the pork now, they're using the Hot Championship as that comeback dust to give it a little bit of a bite so you'll recognize that cut of meat. You'll recognize it. Now it's a cut. It's not a cayenne. It's not a heavy bite. You notice it.
It's not hot. It's
not hot.
Even it says it's hot. It's not hot.
Absolutely.
It's just it's just really well balanced is what I'd come across with that.
And that's what you want. You want it to work front to back on the tongue because you want to leave a little bit of it lingering because when they're biting into the next piece, it's going to confuse the judge a little bit because are they tasting yours or are they tasting what they've already judged?
Right.
So gives them a little bit of a confusion factor.
Yeah, and that little heat doesn't come in for probably 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. It's not there in the initial bite, and then it goes, oh, here it comes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And like you said, then it lingers.
And again, great for chicken. People love it on chicken wings. My son-in-law he comes over and strips every bottle I have out of here, my house, for chicken wings.
That's funny.
So that's sort of the uniqueness of, mastering your layering profiles and how to finish them. And that's what my dad was really good at. He was able to figure out those layerings. And, like we'd come down on pork, we'd start with the regular back before the Hot Championship. We'd come in, with Championship across it. Then what he would do is he'd use the all-purpose, which has got a cayenne hit too, and he'd use that. So again, it wasn't quite as distinct as the Hot Championship, but again, it had a great bite flavor to it.
Right. So that covers the barbecue side of, competition side, and that's kind of your roundup there. Let's talk about what am I going to put next to my stove that I'm going to put on every dish. If I'm going to have one or two of your products on next to my stove that I'm going to cook with almost nightly, where are we going with that?
Well, great question. First of all, the lemon pepper, and we'll get into why I picked these new brands here in a little bit. The lemon pepper, we just used it tonight on asparagus. We use a lot of lemon pepper. We cook a lot of chicken. We use lemon pepper probably more than anything else. Okay. So you being a steak type guy, I would probably recommend a pecan or the Texas beef.
Okay.
The pecan is very unique. I just had my buddy right before we got on here cook a brisket with the pecan because the pecan's going to have more of a sugar base to it. So it's going to give you more of a little bit of a caramelization, and it's going to give you a better crust.
Better bark. Yep.
Better bark.
Okay.
And, we're about bark.
Yes, sir.
Right.
It's as much as I hate to say it, a lot of people don't like bark, but I tell you what, you go look at the great barbecue joints. What do they know? They know bark.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yep.
They really do. I'm a big fan of lemon pepper. There's nothing better than a garden salad with some ranch topped with lemon pepper.
And let me tell you
So
why.
good.
When I went to put the new, the pecan, the lemon pepper, especially the spicy honey maple,
That's so good.
When I went and developed those, it took me 1 year to really figure out what I wanted to do. And again, my son is very, very computer oriented, as all my kids are. Every one of my kids works in some kind of computer environment, whether it be programming, development, AI, networking, Microsoft, something, every one of them. And so what we're talking about, developing new rubs. Okay, we got to constantly refresh. Now, we don't want to do it all the time, but we want to refresh because there's a lot of stuff out there. So my son came up to me. He says, here's what we need to do. We need to go into the search engines, and we need to basically spend 1 year before we figure out what we're going to do. We're going to put in, what are the people looking for on barbecue rubs and spices? What are people searching for across the network? What's the number 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Super smart.
Yeah.
Number 1. What do you think's number 1?
I'm thinking an SPG.
No, lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper. Salt, pepper, garlic's in there, but lemon pepper's triple everything else.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because I think, most people cook chicken or a fish.
Absolutely, and that's what we use them for. And we use them on vegetables.
Yeah, a lot of fish, a lot
vegetables.
of veggies. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of veggies as well.
So again, you look across the broadness of the barbecue aisles. When you look at spices, you don't see a lot of lemon pepper.
Right.
You don't.
And again, when you take
garlic and everything, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So salt, pepper, garlic, we're basically overwhelmed when we go into barbecue stores. Everybody now has salt SPGs. Everybody.
Right.
So again, not going to go there. So
And they're all missing one ingredient.
Yeah.
you have to have onion in that mix. I mean, being from Picayune, Mississippi, my mom, we cooked salt, pepper, onion, and garlic was in everything.
Yeah, we love onion too.
Yeah.
So what I was looking for is I'm looking for holes. I'm looking across our category. I'm looking for holes.
Right.
So pecan.
Yeah.
There are a few pecan, but again, there's a pecan was like the second searched for spice.
And there's only a handful of rubs out there that have a pecan in their label.
Right.
Correct. Absolutely correct. And notice the color of my label. What color is it? Brown. Matches pecan. Okay.
Right.
So the next one was the spicy honey maple. So what we did is we combined spicy, honey, and maple. They were all in the top 10, all of them. So we came up, why don't we combine them? And fortunate enough, Jerry Bonner at Old World said, we can do that. And so that's where the spicy honey maple came out, which is very unique.
Boy, that's good though.
It has
so good.
It has a jalapeno bite to it. It's not a cayenne, it's a jalapeno bite. And it just sort of takes you in multiple different directions of rubs. And what we found out now is a lot of the guys are using that as their top layer on their ribs and on their pork because they're looking for that uniqueness. And again, it's unique. It's
it's flavor without it's flavor with a little bit of heat. It's just not heat for heat's sake.
Absolutely. I'd never do that. I'd never do that. Yeah,
me either.
I mean, that's there's a lot of guys who want to make it super hot. I'm like, good.
Heat is easy.
Yeah.
Heat with flavor is more difficult.
Yeah. So the spicy honey maple, we used a jalapeno, it's more of a jalapeno flavor. So that's that bite. So it's going to be a little bit different on the tongue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, people are loving it. It's just doing really well. It's a pork type rub. Some people a lot of guys are using it on their chicken wings now.
Mm.
So
And
of course,
it's really good on pork loin. It's so good on pork loin.
So just looking at this, it's sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar with more sugar. And then
welcome to the USA.
Yep. Literally it's sugar, then sugar and honey blended powder, and then cane sugar. I guess it's cane sugar and honey.
Yep.
And then
honey powder is just honey powder works so well though.
It does. It is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a commodity, so you got to be careful how much you use. And
well, what I like about it, it's literally sugar on top of sugar, some salt, some garlic, an onion, then jalapeno, and then you get that bite with. It looks like you have a couple different vinegars in there.
Oh yeah, we always have vinegar, and it's powdered vinegar.
Powdered vinegar, yeah.
Of course, yeah, better be.
Right,
and it gives you that gives you a little bit of the tartness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the tartness that pork loves.
This is literally everything you put on a pork shoulder. Like when I first started barbecuing, it was brown sugar, some salt, pepper, garlic, wrap it. Then when you go to your wrap, you're putting honey in there. You're going to be using a little bit of apple cider vinegar. This is literally everything in one bottle.
We lost Anthony for a second.
Yeah.
I had a brand new team they've cooked 2 competitions now. And he showed up to a pro event, and I watched him season his stuff. He's only cooking 2 meats even at a pro event, and he was doing individual seasonings. Yeah. And then he cooked the second thing, and he did the same thing. And I pulled him aside because he didn't do very well in either one. Pulled him aside and said, "Listen, I understand what you're doing. I did it in the very beginning, but you need to go and find some good products that are pre-made, pre-measured, and do some layering with that, and stop doing individual seasoning on your product."
I agree.
Hopefully it'll help him. So
yeah. So many of those guys out there that get on YouTube University and they say we only need salt, pepper, garlic. Can't tell you how much salt, pepper, garlic to put on there, but they learned from somebody else on YouTube University that salt, pepper, garlic. By God.
And what kind of salt is it? What salt are you using? And in Texas they talk
about
road
salt works the best.
Oh man.
Exactly.
People have asked me to make rub before, and I'm like, hell no. Why would I want to do something that somebody's already done way better than I have? Why would I want to do that? Like the stuff behind it. No, just go buy a bottle of barbecue rub for $10 to $15 and enjoy.
Yeah. It is. It makes life real easy. It really does. True. Yeah, it's tried and true.
And then people try to make rubs at home. What are they doing? You probably know this, Chris. They're using a measuring cup. They're using tablespoons, everything like that, and that shows inconsistency right there. Exactly. The best way to do it is by weight.
Yep.
Yeah. I love that too. I need to make 4 pounds of it, so I'm going to still use the same measurements, and I'm just going to bump them up a little bit. I'm going. Tell me how well that'll work for you.
Yeah.
And then do it again and see if it tastes the same.
The balance is never going to be there as soon because we have 2 rubs that we sell in our store that are our rubs, and one's very complicated, 28 plus ingredients. One has 5. The 5 one still took me almost 3 years. You know what fixed it? As soon as we started measuring our salt and pepper, garlic and onion by weight and not by volume.
Yeah.
As soon as we did that, it fixed the balance, and it came together really quick after that.
Yeah, that's how I was taught by weight.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So there's sort of the history on the new rubs, being able to really find the holes. How am I going to fill those holes? But on top of that, I want to think a little bit out of the box because I'm not a copy guy. I'm not going to go copy somebody who brings out a salt, pepper, garlic and call it the same thing.
Right.
And everybody, all you have to do has the best rub, because there's probably 10 to 15 every week coming out. I just won a 4th place at this contest, and now manufacturer made me.
Right.
Well, it's funny. It's the people that reach out to the stores and they go, "Hey, I think our product would be very good for your stores." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, but I've never had anybody come in my store and ask for your product. In order to bring your product in, you have to replace something on my shelves. And with the stuff that's on my shelves, they sell. I can't bring your product in and have it sit for 2 years and have me throw it away. So it just
Exactly.
doesn't work that way,
Right.
you know?
Well, and then, I talk to a lot of people who want to get in the business, and I say, hey, listen, how are you going to promote this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to promote it on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm going, how are you going to promote this? Are you going to go out and do events? You're going to, go to a barbecue store and do an event? Well, no.
You're going to go sample it?
No.
Go sample it?
And well, that costs money. And I'm like, well, yeah. You don't know how many samples, Jesse, how many times I've been out to grocery stores, barbecue stores. And I mean, it comes out of your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think in 2012, we were hired by Bullseye to help sample out all their new sauces back in the day. And they sold great when we were there, but after we left, we'd sell out of the product the day we were there. And then the rest, the stores would go, oh, this is going to sell really well. Bring a bunch in, and it just sits on the shelves.
Right. Exactly.
Not a huge amount of didn't create a huge following for that product.
Well, and part of that following too is that the stores have to embrace it.
Yeah.
And, like I know that you have your favorites. Everybody has their favorites. And the store has to embrace it. And that's why a lot of these guys don't understand. You're not going to get rich selling stuff on Amazon because Amazon's going to be taking a huge cut of it.
Yeah, they're going to rape and pillage.
And exactly. Everybody goes, well, I'm going to get all my stuff on Amazon. I'm going, you really need to understand how Amazon works before you do that.
Facts.
Well, and the other thing is like, you're not, so the funniest thing is when people come in the store and said, I just bought a brand new grill. Well, I'm like, well, I know you didn't buy it for me, but now you're coming to me to help you learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to kind of bite our tongue, help them. Okay. That's a great entry-level pit. Be nice about it. And then here's some cooking techniques. We share cooking techniques all the time. And then what flavor profile are you looking for? What have you used in the past? And kind of walk them down the road that way. But, as soon as they know what products they're interested in, you just kind of feed them down that line. And people do check out reviews and everything else on products. And content, I think, helps a lot. And I think you have a lot of content out there from your followers that kind of help influence how people buy your products.
And that's and Jesse, you hit that right on the nose. And that's exactly what it is. 25 years of doing classes.
Yep.
Loyalty. I mean,
that's thousands of customers, thousands of influencers that paid to become your influencers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, of course, a lot of companies, what are they looking for? They're looking for influencers. They don't care if we have credentials.
Right.
This guy has 100,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
And it just, the whole thing has sort of changed. So the authenticity that we have is not there anymore. These big companies are saying, well, I'm going to hire this influencer who has 2 million influencers. And, but what they do is they sell dresses and they sell perfumes, but let's let them sell barbecue stuff too.
Yeah. That'd be a one-time purchase.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I was that type of person. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got into barbecue, I was like, oh, I'm getting this rub and getting that rub. I'm gonna tell everybody about it. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. Well, we're just gonna deal with it. But now, after being in the game for such a long while, not as long as you both, but just finally getting behind a product that you actually really stand behind after you put it through a bunch of testing and actually really do enjoy it. Then you're like, okay, I'm gonna tell somebody about this. I'm going to let my people on social media know about this. And then that is the true natural promotion that people just want to do because they really enjoy it. And Chris, this is what your people are doing on social media is they really tested your product. They really enjoyed it. And they're just letting the next person know about your product without having to be forceful and making lies about a product that they're testing.
Well, and you're exactly right. And that's what irritates me too, because again, if you look at a lot of these, likes and things like that, or the reviews, a lot of those reviews are done by bots now.
Yep.
Yeah,
they are.
And, it's just, again, I know exactly what they're doing. It's a great scheme, but again, it's not truthful.
Yeah.
So Anthony, it's really important. And you bring up an important part is, we're obviously baby boomers. And I mean, we have a whole different outlook on life versus everybody else, according to my kids. And, it's the loyalty thing, it's driven in me.
Right.
And
it's that whole shake a man's hand for respect, right? Yeah, exactly. Versus, whatever else is out there.
Well, and the thing of it is like, these guys may be going out and buying their products from Amazon, but if they want true and real information, you've got to go to your local barbecue supply store.
I agree.
Really
That's where the real knowledge is, because people that are in those stores, and whether you go to my shop or another shop, go to those stores, because that's where you're going to get the real world advice that you're going to help you make a better product. Not on YouTube University, and don't buy your stuff on Amazon. Go to your local store, because if your local store isn't there, that knowledge is gone and lost forever.
I've worked with barbecue retail for 25 years.
Yeah.
And that point you bring up right there is so important. And what I've noticed is the loyalty to the barbecue stores too. Once that person gets in there, once they understand that, it's a lot easier to talk to the pros than it is to go on and try to read a review of some yahoo who you don't even know really wrote the review. It's really good to go in and listen to the real world. And that's where I've been successful, on the real world. So, maybe somebody gets, Amazon buys it one time. I want that guy to buy multiple times. And what I want him to do is say, man, this one's really good, so I'm going to buy these other ones. And that's usually what happens.
We want them to come in and buy their rubs, their sauces, their pellets. Come get them from us, because we need them as much as they need us for the information that we provide.
Absolutely. And
that's one of the biggest joys in what we do, is helping people make great food for their friends and family. I think that's in the same level as people that are out there teaching in the world.
Yeah. So my goal, Jesse, is somebody, I teach them a class, they come back and their wife or their kids say, Dad, this is the best you've ever done.
What does that do for them?
Yeah, that is my deal. That is my goal. So what have I done there is I've showed the dad how to do it. He spread it across the whole family now. Now, guess what? The whole family now, the cousins, the brothers, you don't know who they're going to work with.
Exactly.
And that's what I call planting the seed and development. Business development, simple business development. Everybody wants it now. Plant that seed, let it grow, develop.
Barbecue's not about now.
Oh, I know.
It's all about delayed gratification.
It really is. And
so just trying to figure out how, being from business, I have a different outlook than 99% of the other guys in our category.
Yeah.
Well, just think about it. I'm obviously not going to put any names out there, but how many rubs have came and gone, especially in the competition world? That flips off like an on-off switch. But there's brands like yours that have consistently been there, that keeps performing. But there's other brands, they went to the social media route, pushed it out there, everybody got it, everybody tried it, and then it faded away after that bottle was gone.
And that's another great point, sustainability.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
How are you going to sustain? And you're going to sustain with quality name and followers that are loyal to you. Not the one guy who's
and a quality product.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sustainability. Tough in this business. Going on 20 years now.
And you've done fantastic. And there's a reason why you are on that list of 150 people, and you're a person that I personally look up to. Going and watching you cook, using the Marshall, being able to watch your styles it's influenced me in my career, my barbecue career. that who knows where it's going. It changes by the week. One day I'm KCBS, one day I'm SEA. You never know.
Yeah.
Because several of our sponsor teams are using that in competition still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Marshall's a great little cooker.
I know. It took me a year to redesign that. That's when I did all the CAD CAM work on it. And it took me 1 year to redesign it. And that was so much fun. I love doing that. Because they had everything. Everything was robot. Everything was built. So, I mean, we'd laser cut it on the plate. Then we'd take it into the robot and put it all together. And, it was so cool to do.
Yeah.
And,
all of the parts on our offset that we build is laser cut. It just comes out. The quality is just tried and true above anything else.
Yeah. And we laser weld and I mean, robot weld. But and we only touched like 3 inches. Had to hand weld all the way in the back, 3 inches. That was it. But everything else, the welds, the seams, it flowed perfect. I mean, it was such a good unit. Still is a good unit. They still sell them. I got 2 of them here.
Well,
they're awesome units.
They're a generational product too. You're going to be able to pass that on from several generations.
Absolutely.
And the thing is I know if I put a bag of charcoal in there, I know exactly how much time I'm going to get out of it. It's consistent every single time. Hot, cold, windstorm, tornadoes, it doesn't matter. You're going to get the exact same time and exact same temperature every single time.
That back end was built for 20 pounds of charcoal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was built for 20 pounds, and that's a whole bag. And it just, I was able, the longest I've ever stretched it to 225. Actually, it hung to 225, was right at about 13 hours.
Wow.
On one bag.
That's awesome.
And it was hot out. Of course, it was hot. Low humidity. It was just set up perfect. Now, could I do that every time? No. I usually stretch between 8 to 10.
Yeah. But honestly, who needs to be barbecuing longer than 8 to 10 hours? Let's be honest.
I know, that's what I say too.
How do you feel? I want to ask that with both of you. Why are people barbecuing for 18 to 20 hours for a pork butt or a brisket?
I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time.
Well, first of all, need I go back and recreate YouTube University?
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna smoke it at 180 degrees for 12 hours.
Right.
And then I'm going to raise it up to 220 for another 8, and then I'm going to finish it off at 250.
And be dry as hell.
Yeah.
They wonder why it's dry. Because we teach people to cook at 180 overnight. That's just so that product doesn't get away from you.
Yeah.
Okay, put it on at night, go to bed, 180 degrees, don't worry about it. Get up in the morning, bump it to 275.
Yeah.
Get it to your temperature so you can wrap it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Gets them ahead of the game running it overnight. So
yeah.
I understand a longer cook when you do low overnight, but don't do that if you're going to stay up with it, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, think about perception. You know, our worlds are built on perception. You know, again, that guy on TV, basically, you know, hey, you know, I do my briskets, you know, for 24 hours. I heard it. And then I look at what he's cooking on.
He's resting it for 12.
Yeah, exactly. So he's opening, you know, he's working on a 16-foot offset.
Yeah.
And he's opening it every 15 minutes to spritz it. And I'm like,
so it's going,
it'll take you 24 hours to cook the damn
right.
thing.
Yeah. Honestly, let's brush over that just really quick. We all know it's been scientifically proven, you know, you can go see, like, you know, Jeremy Yoder, he's kind of touched on this, but your meat can only take in the smoke and the flavors for up to 2 to 3 hours max.
Absolutely
then
correct.
after that, you are not adding any more flavor to the protein. It's just cook it, get it done.
So it's 2 hours, but it's actually about 140 to 140 degrees. Once it hits that plateau right there, forget it. It's not taking any more smoke.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, it is what it is. And
quit damn cooking so long, people.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Just quit it.
I cook 8 to 10 hours on my briskets, and those are the big ones.
Yep.
Can I cook quicker? Absolutely. I could hit it 8 hours all the time if I want to, 275.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'll start my briskets at night, at 10 o'clock at night, and I don't even look at them, touch them. I don't do anything. I just wake up in the morning and they're done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just get back to the basic fundamentals of barbecue, cooking it to where it's done. Try to get rid of these myths. Yeah, they might be a crutch, but they're not helping you. Like, I do not like the 3-2-1 method on
Nope.
pork
No,
ribs.
that's
3 hours, I'm done already. 3 hours,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm cooking at
My ribs
275,
done in
300.
3.5 hours.
I'm trying to eat
Yeah.
dinner. I'm not trying to cook all day and like
Well, you got to have the proper honey, butter, and brown sugar
yeah.
to make sure that So you got to make sure you wrap them so they fall off the bone, so you can make it like rib.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. We don't need that. We want a good bite of barbecue with something that doesn't taste like mush.
See, and
Exactly.
I rock our briskets and pork shoulders in 8 hours, and they get a minimum rest of 12.
Yeah.
They rest and I pull everything at 190 because they're going to continue to cook, especially when they're sitting in a hot Cambro,
Mhm.
Yep, and they will.
Yep.
Some of the biggest mistakes people make, Jesse, is they'll run that brisket to 2.5.
Yep.
They'll wrap it, and then they're holding it in a cooler. Now, remember, you can only use a Yeti cooler. Remember that. So
The
that's
$400 cooler. Yes.
Yeah, that's what they said on YouTube. You could only use a Yeti cooler.
That's my brisket rester.
Yeah, exactly. And so they'll rest that brisket for 12 hours, then they open it up and just go.
It's a mush.
They continue to cook. They didn't
Yeah.
vent it. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I want to talk to you for hours. I really, really want to pick
We
your
could
brain.
talk for hours. Yeah.
But
we
we try to we really respect your time, but let people know where to buy your product. I have the scroller going on the video. 2, and then maybe if they have a serious question and they really struggling with something with your product, where they can reach out and ask those questions.
Well, first of all, I'm very open to helping people. That's what I do. Okay, they can reach me on social media. Chris Marks, 3 Little Pigs. They can hit me on the website. A lot of people hit me on the website. Just come talk to me. I'm here to help. I don't care where you're at, what you're cooking on. It just doesn't matter to me. I like talking barbecue, and
Awesome.
but that's what I like doing, and I like helping. And I'll shoot you straight. The one thing I do promise people is I'll shoot you straight. If you tell me you're doing something and I think it's not smart, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I'll give
25-hour
you
briskets.
Yeah. I'll give you an option on how to fix it.
Exactly.
So I'm not just going to tell you, you're get out of here. Here's what you need to do to fix that.
Awesome.
And I'm here to help you do that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well,
and
thank
if you're in Utah, stop by Barbecue Pit Stop or Pitmaster Supply Company.
Yep.
Go to your local barbecue shop. Go pick up his products there because we're going to be able to give you a lot of information to help you make better barbecue, and that's all we're here for.
I'm in lots and lots and lots of barbecue stores.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Go get it.
Those guys, I tell you what, those guys are, original and authentic. These guys work hard in these stores. They love their business. They love that guy you see working in that barbecue store. That owner is probably working 16 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I need to go up and visit Jesse. I have a bottle of whiskey for him anyways, but I want probably to pick up these new four lines and give them a go. They seem like I'm a pork guy. I like pork shoulders, and all 3 out of the 4 new lineup.
Well, the tenderloins
category.
I just did a big Do It Best show, and we used the spicy honey maple and the touch of cherry on the and then the touch of cherry barbecue sauce on pork tenderloins.
Oh, so amazing.
I think we went through about 60 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. I was saying wow too.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. And we're going to have you back on the show again. We'll give you a little bit, and then we'll have you back on and just catch up with you again.
I love coming out there. I'm a Moab guy.
Oh, me
man.
too.
Me too. 3. Moab is one of my favorite places. I have a special place in my heart.
Pins and things.
Done
Poison
my
Spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's do it. I'm ready to wheel.
Let's go run Pritchett.
Yeah, let's go down there.
I'm not doing Pritchett. I got to drive home.
Yeah, my big buggy has not been to Moab yet. It's been to Sand Hollow. It just got a brand new engine. They're putting the stickies on it right now, and then I'm taking my wife to Moab. She's never been four-wheeling in Moab, and it's one of my favorite places on the planet.
It is literally.
We go down and stay in Kanab.
Yes, Kanab is beautiful. Yeah,
it's great wheeling down there.
Southern Utah is a special spot in my heart.
I don't know how you guys stay up there. I'd be down there all the time.
I actually was this summer. Spent a lot of time down there. It was awesome.
So next time we have him on, we're going to do barbecue and four-wheelers. That's what we're going to talk about.
We're just going to be smoking and wheeling. That's what we're calling it. Go smoking and wheeling.
Cool.
So. All righty, thank you, Chris.
Bourbon, barbecue, and burning rubber.
Yeah,
there you go. Hopefully not burning too much rubber.
Yeah, right.
heat them up to get out of the hot tub.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Not too much water in the hot tub.
No,
exactly.
Yeah,
just spin those fronts till they get nice and warm.
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
All righty, thank you, Chris.
No, thank you,
Chris.
guys.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.